I just wanted to talk for a second about these jeans that I modified for my daughter. She had seen my Jenko style jeans and had been really excited about it. Loved them. She's 12 years old. She wanted to kind of like a similar pair. So I made some for her. These are them. And I thought I would go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the things that I did with these, and how I constructed them, how I think that they turned out. Here are the jeans. This is the front. You can see that these were Levi's 501s. My daughter is very thin in the waist. So the first thing that I did was I put elastic in, actually two things of elastic, inside the waistband here, kind of like how kids' jeans have those elastics. This, I kind of like this. It looks a little bit funky from the top, but if you have kids' jeans, you'll be used to this kind of look. It kind of allowed me to make them small enough for her to fit, but still, not feel too crazy. I also added a second button to the front here, which helped make them a little bit smaller. So that's that. So that's the thin waist. So the first thing is I had a couple different ways. My Jenkos, I had split the side seams and added a panel in. So, but it did kind of make it look a little bit odd. So split up here and add a panel in. But with hers, I decided to just actually go ahead and split it straight down the front and also the back of the jeans, as you can see here. And these are actually cut from that original panel I had shown in another video. So these are actually straight, kind of more in the middle, and then they flare out towards the side. So these two are cut. You can see that tag are cut from the same section. I patched all these together, so these will fray over time. I patched all of those pieces of other jeans scraps together to kind of create these panels. But really, once you get to the inside, so here's another, bar tacking. It's top stitched here, which I thought was pretty nice. The hems at the bottom are not perfect, but let's go ahead and flip these inside out so you can see some of the things that I did to them, because it's really on the inside that you start to get the real thing that I think are cool about these jeans. Here we are on the inside of the jeans, and I think that they're pretty clean. As you can see here, these were actually stitched first, and then they were done on a serger. So these are all serged here, and then they were top stitched, which is what that stitch is there. So they're actually very nice. They're very flat. They're not going to fray. Like I said, these parts are going to fray, but those are meant to fray, the patches. Getting up to the top here, I realized that there was going to be a lot of weight. This is stretched denim, the 501, so there's going to be a lot of weight from these kind of additions pulling down on it. And also there's this weak point here, which you can see here on the outside, where the sewing stopped, where it was kind of split. So I used actually a bobbin thread that was a jeans color, which you can barely see. It's right here. And I did stitch some, I forgot what this stuff is called, this strap material. I stitched up here and I bar tacked it here, and zigzagged it here. Oh, that's the bar tack from the outside, just to try to make this weight of this panel kind of pull on more of the jeans than just that little spot right there. And I did that on all the different sides. So you can see here, I did it there. On the back, these ones are just done to the inside of the jeans. There's nothing special, but on the backs, on the pocket sections, I actually took this, not webbing, I forgot what the name of this is. People that sew are going to tell me. And I actually stitched it into the bottom of the pocket there to help give it a little bit more strength there. All right, last thing I'll talk about is the hem. So I actually put some of the white bracing, I don't know what the name of stuff is, here to kind of give this a little bit more stiffness, because otherwise it would stretch like this. Put it stiff. I put it in here before I folded it over. I also serged the edge here of the inside of the jeans, and then I stitched both I used the golden heavyweight polyester thread on both sides, and then I stitched it around. So overall, that's the end. It's not perfect. Because of there's so much different thicknesses here, it kind of got a little away from me here and there. But you know, it's not perfect, but I think it turned out pretty good. So all this is done to a pretty good quality, I think. My daughter seems to really like it. They were originally a couple inches longer. I hemmed them to be the right height for her, the right length for her, which kind of not exactly floated above the ground, but they look really good on her. But overall, yeah, here they are. They look kind of like bell bottoms from the 70s. I think that doing the panel in the middle actually was kind of a neat idea because it helps this keep its structure and just adds more flair into the middle part. So I like little details like this is the back pocket upside down. These are stitched here, and this will fray over time, which I think will be kind of neat. So there's the flare leg, I guess you could say. Not exactly Jenko style, but, and like I said, that tag is actually the tag from this pair of 501s. You can see there. I thought they turned out great. They did take quite a while to do. It was a lot of stitching. It was basically patching this together the other day, then it was cutting them, sewing them, serging them, then top stitching them. So each of these has 3 different passes to go, and then the cuffs, and then the time it takes to bar tack. If you haven't used that jeans colored, it's like a cotton poly combination thread that's got a jeans color. Like you can this isn't that. This is the thread right here. You can barely see it there, and you can barely see it there. So like I'm going to use that for a lot of jean repairs, but okay, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.